Welcome to another episode. Welcome to another episode of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will so I can continue to bring you the gospel of Gamecocks every single day. Every single day, y'all. I say that as a tagline. I said that as an opening. I said, y'all know that. Who've been rocking with me for a long time. But I ain't been on for a minute. I ain't been on since May 31st, 2025. Because, Cam Will had a birthday. Cam Will had a situation where me and Wifey Will was out celebrating my 50th birthday. And I thank you for all the birthday wishes for everyone who said happy birthday, who's going to say happy birthday in the future. So I thank you for everything. Wifey and I are back from Cancun. And so happy everything went great. The weather was perfect. The food was good. But most importantly, I lived to see 50 years. And everybody don't see 50 years. We all know that. Yeah, the knees are hurting a little bit. Back, crackety a little bit. But I'm here. We talking some women's basketball. We talking to South Carolina USC Gamecocks. It's going down on a Saturday night with your man, Captain Will. You're not rocking with the best, since you're rocking with the best. I'm rocking with your man, Captain Will. I ain't said that in a minute. I have not said that in a minute. We talking some recruiting. Recruiting tonight. Recruiting's going on. And when we started talking about June, the next wave of talent for the 2026 class. And I'm smiling because of the talent in this class, but the talent that will be showing up in South Carolina for some official visits in the near future. You got players that are cutting down their list to 10, cutting down their list to 5, and South Carolina's in the mix for a whole bunch of it. The 2026 recruiting class for girls basketball is generating all kinds of crazy buzz. It's all over the place. This class is going to be noise. It's going to be so good. And South Carolina is going to be all over it. The thumbprint of the Gamecocks, the three-time national champions, is going to be all over the place for this 2026 recruiting class. What makes these young ladies special? What makes these young ladies different in 2025 class, the 2024 class, 2027 class? What makes these young ladies different? Well, first off, quantity. There's an abundance of high-level talent for this recruiting class. It is so great. And I'm so happy that South Carolina have so many players that's going to be showing up on this upcoming, for this class. I'm talking about 4, maybe 5 players going to be showing up. I'm just so hyped. I'm just so hyped. But before we start all that, before we start talking about this recruiting class, let's go through some hot topics that's been going on while I've been gone. Okay. First off, somebody told me that Don Staley is gonna do the whole broadcasting thing. Matter of fact, it starts at 7:30 tonight on CBS. Now, Don Staley, one of the best players, coaches who ever lived, whoever touched the basketball, and I encourage you, if you have not had the opportunity to read or listen to her book, please do so. It is amazing. I listened to it on the plane. It is so good. So you learn so much about her upbringing, so her motivations, her family. There's so many great things about the Don Staley. But Don Staley's bringing her basketball acumen to the WNBA and CBS. Now, we all know who's playing tonight. So CBS couldn't have did this any better. You got Chicago Sky. You got Indiana Fever. I get it. Going to get all kinds of ratings. I understand. But for me, it's all about Don Staley. I mean, come on. She's going to do an amazing job. And after I get off the air, I'm going to rewatch it because her halftime show starts at 7:30. Okay. Another thing we have to talk about. There's some actual basketball that's being scheduled for the South Carolina women's basketball team. On December 18th, South Carolina will be playing the South Florida Bulls. Now, South Florida came to the Colonial Life Arena and got, I think, lost by 15, 17 points. That's when Joyce balled out in that basketball game, and I expect the same thing to happen when we go to Florida. That's on December 18th. So it's actually, the non-conference schedule is coming together to a certain degree. You already know that we're going to be playing, Southern Cal and LA. We're going to be playing, it was a Texas. We're gonna be playing Duke. We're gonna be playing UCLA in Vegas. All those things are gonna be going down. But more importantly, basketball is being talked about. That's going to happen December 18th here in June. And I couldn't be more happy. Isla McDowell, 5-star recruit, South Carolina's own, was a top 15 rated recruit from Brazil, is on the preliminary team. The preliminary team for Brazil. As they go into the 2025 FIBA America, it's going to be happening in Chile. Okay? Chile. All right? She's only 18 years old. We saw her playing against, WNBA players during the preseason action. But she's on the initial roster of 18. They got to turn that thing down to 12. Camila Cardozo, our very own Camila Cardozo, who's playing tonight, is also on that roster. Okay? It's during the season. It's from June the 28th to July the 6th. So Camila Cardozo will be missing a few games over in Chile doing what she does at Brazil. Everybody wants to make the Olympic team, and this is one step towards that. When I initially saw it, I was like, okay, I don't want Isla McDowell going over to play in this tournament. I don't want her to do that. And the reason I don't want her to do that is for selfish reasons, because I don't want anything to happen to her physically, that something can happen and change what's going on, for her growth with South Carolina. Then I sat back and I was like, this is the best thing that could happen for her, is to play against better players in this international environment and get some run it's only a little over a week, obviously you got some practice time, but it's only a little over a week, and I can't wait for it. So Isla McDowell hopefully will make this roster and go over and not only represent our country, but represent the University of South Carolina women's basketball team. Thank you. South Carolina women's basketball in terms of recruiting. This class is legit. It is legit. It is terrific. From top to bottom. 1 through 10. The first 10 players in this class of 2025, or should I say 2026, are dynamic players. Starting off with number 1. And I have the caveat, because all these players aren't being recruited by the South Carolina women's basketball team, three-time national champions. But I would say that some of these players already got their mind focused on some other players, which is fine, or some other teams, which is fine. But we're still going to go down to the top 10. In the top 10 right now, number 1 player in the country is Sanaya Hall. She is amazing. She is the cream of the crop for this recruiting class. Great size. She plays on, if not the best high school team in the country, the second best high school team in the country, Montverde and Academy in Florida, which she was also a teammate of our very own Agat McCurr. She is a terrific basketball player. She is number 1 on the list of being the 5-star, the All-American, get all those different accolades throughout the season. She is right now the best player. But it's Sanaya Hall. But it ain't a big drop. Ain't a big drop. Because some folks might say Olivia Edwards is the best player in this class. 6'3", forward, out of Washington, not DC, but way out west Washington. Elite Sports Academy, 6'3", basically a carbon copy of our very own Ashlyn Watkins. Except, here's the thing. Olivia Edwards is a better basketball player going into her senior year than Ashlyn Watkins was. Okay? So we see what Watkins can do. And I believe completely, Olivia Edwards coming to South Carolina, I believe she'll do the same thing, if not better. And her ceiling is higher than Ashlyn Watkins was in high school. Okay? It is higher. She is a superstar who dunks at ease, with ease, and can rebound the basketball and can score. I really like Olivia Edwards, y'all. I really do. Big O from Christ the King, New York. International player, Olivia Bukasa, terrific post player, 6'4", does everything with the basketball. She is out of the top 3 players that I just mentioned. For South Carolina, the way we are built inside out, Big O is what we need in a post player. She is the next stepping stone. She is the Aaliyah Boston. She is the Camila Cardoza. She is what I believe would be that traditional big who can also shoot it for South Carolina. She is the top-rated big in the country. She has a lot of teams after. But what if she came to South Carolina? What if? I believe that the Dale Tack is going to make a huge game this upcoming season for South Carolina and will prove why she was a 5-star recruit. And prove why her junior year in high school, why she was up to ranked as high as 12 in the country. I believe the leaps and bounds that she's going to make. But with that being said, Big O, Olivia, would be huge for Carolina next year. Number 4, Kay Harper. Now, I've seen, this is by ESPN now, I've seen Kay Harper ranked as high as number 1 in some recruiting circles. I've seen her as low as number 3. And with ESPN, I see her number 4. Okay. She's the best. Kay Harper is the best guard. If you call, okay, let me say that. Kay Harper is the best point guard for sure in this recruiting class. She's the best point guard. Some say she's the best guard over Sanaya Hall. What Kay Harper is at 5'10", can shoot the ball, can defend like nobody's business. Got a little dog in her. Plays at Marist School in Georgia, right outside ATL. And would look so good in a Gamecock uniform. The problem with this right here, the daddy, Matt Harper, played for Georgia Tech. That's the problem. That's the situation. There's a lot of basketball that got to be played this summer. It was just a basketball that went on this over the weekend. They're doing all these different showcases, doing all these different things. They had a showcase where the coaches were Fly J and Juju Watkins. And Juju changed her hairstyle. I didn't even recognize her. But everything is changing. So the things go up and down, sideways and backwards. But Kay Harper is nice. She's, after, because you got Maddie, who going to get some substantial minutes this upcoming season. But then next year, in her junior season, Maddie McDaniel, number 13 ranked recruit in her recruiting class, and number 2 ranked point guard in her recruiting class, will start for the South Carolina women's basketball team next year, and going to play outstanding. But I believe if you have a player like Kate Harper pulling up from the rear, backing up a player like Maddie McDaniel in her junior year, that's going to be terrific for South Carolina women's basketball if that actually happens. Jersey Robinson, she's currently ranked 5th in the ESPN's rankings. Jersey Robinson is one of my favorite players in this recruiting cycle. Favorite players from Sierra Canyon, California. It's tough bringing over players from California. It's just tough. It's difficult to do. Jersey Robinson, I hope, because she's early on in the process, I hope will give South Carolina better some love this upcoming season. I hope that she actually takes her time and say, okay, what I could do for the South Carolina women's basketball team on the East Coast instead of the left coast. Okay? Jersey Robinson, started watching her a lot during, I think it was the Team USA under 16. She is nice. Nice. One of my favorite players, number 6, in this recruiting cycle is McKenna Willisco. McKenna Willisco from Archbishop Mitty, California, 6'2" wing. I believe, Captain Will believes that she is a top 2, top 3 ranked player in the country. I believe the only reason that she is ranked 6 by ESPN is because she tore her ACL in January. I believe completely that she is one of the best players in the country. She is, hear me now, in my heart, I believe that she is the best shooter in this recruiting cycle. McKenna Willisco, 6'2" wing, can shoot the ball very well at all three levels, can rebound the basketball. She tore ACL. She is, from what I'm hearing, from a very, very reliable source, that her healing is going very well. The rehab is going tremendous. The shooting ability is going very, very well, and still can knock it down. And she'll be coming for an official visit to the Gamecocks pretty soon. One of my favorite players. We talk about McKenna Willisco. I'm talking about like Breanna Stewart type. I'm talking about like Madison Booker type. That's how good I believe this young lady is. The only reason, and I say that, let's say that. I'm talking about Olympic gold medalists, all these different Team USA, all these different things that she's gotten. She tore ACL. I believe she has a very good chance of being a Gamecock. Trinity Jones, 7th ranked, 6'1" guard, Bolingbrook, Illinois, great player. I don't think there's no chance in hell she's going to come to South Carolina, but I got to mention her. She's number 7 ranked in the class. JJJ, Jayla Jordan Jackson from some Sidwell Friends school in D.C. Okay, 6'1" guard. And I mentioned 6'1", Sidwell Friends, D.C. You know, that's not too far from PG County, where very own Maddie McDaniel's from, and JJJ is terrific. I have so many different words I can say. I have so many different acronyms I can say about JJJ in regards to her becoming a Gamecock and just like 3J, 3 from 3J, or my brain just goes so crazy. I want her on the basketball team. I want her on this basketball team. 3J got good size, can handle the ball, can play defense. I want her on this basketball team. Out of the 8 people, 8 young ladies I've said, you know, I have my favorites. And my favorites through these 8 is JJJ, McKenna, and probably Jersey. No, I'm going to say Olivia. No. It's a toss-up. You always have your favorites. This time last year, I had my favorites. I wanted Jersey. I wanted Jazzy Davidson. If you read back the tape, I was never like, I wanted Jazzy. I didn't want Aaliyah. You know, I knew that Sienna Betts was going to go join her sister, Lauren. I wanted Agatha McCurr. I wanted her early in the process, and we got her. Once I found out about Allie McDowell and how she was growing exponentially, I wanted her on this basketball team. And since we're going by numbers, I want 3J on this basketball team, along with McKenna on this basketball team. Number 9 is Brianna Critterton, and from Colorado. Now, Colorado is one from my wife's stomping grounds. You know, 6'3" wing, and Don. I mean, so you're talking about a big wing, and been following her for a while, and on Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it these days, and because we trying to get these wings now, and Brianna is nice. We're getting some wings with a lot of size, getting wings like you know, with Isla McDowell, 6'2". You know, Tessa got good size. I got McCurr, 6'1" with long arms. 6'3" wing is a little different, because you 6'3" wing, you talk about playing the 3 or the 4 in some cases, and I love that flexibility. JC Abbey, currently ranked 10th in the recruiting world by ESPN, is a big guard, 6'2" guard. We talk about these wings, right? From Texas, Legion Prep Academy, okay, who is rising up the echelon, the higher echelon in regards to recruits. She could be top five type player when this thing is all said and done. And I mentioned that how I love my favorite players, and like with 3J, and who's currently 8th in the country, and what she can do as a Gamecock. her list right now, as of, I think it was January 2025, South Carolina, obviously, Alabama, Maryland, Miami, Ohio State, and TCU. Now, obviously, this is still early in the process, but she's cut it down to, what's that, 6 schools? 6 schools. Now, of those 6 schools, with her being, from the D.C. area, obviously Maryland is in her ear. Brenda Freese is a great, terrific coach. Champion. Maryland's always there in the conversation. Alabama, all right, whatever. Miami, whatever. Ohio State. Ohio State is building something. It's just got Kylie Kitts, Chloe's little sister, on that program. Got Jelani Cambridge. They're building something there. TCU, transfer capital of the world. TCU is on the list. Okay. In my humble opinion, when it's all said and done, when we're talking about 3J, it's going to come down to South Carolina and Maryland. And if it's a conversation between South Carolina and Maryland, it's going to be South Carolina. I don't care that she is from the local area in Maryland. And the way they say it in Maryland, they don't say area, they say area. And in Maryland, I was there for 7 years in my military time. Daughter still lives up in that way. She needs to come on to South Carolina. And that's what I believe at this point on June the 7th, that I believe that it's going to come down to South Carolina and Maryland. And 3J, come on to South Carolina. I ain't going to say that you're going to be a Carolina Gamecock today on June the 7th. I ain't putting that prediction out there in the universe just yet. But I believe that's what's going to happen between those two teams. Savvy Swords, who right now is 18th ranked in the country. Shooter, nice. I think she'll look good in the South Carolina Gamecock uniform. We need shooters. We always need shooters. Every team needs shooters. She's cut hers down. UCLA, Kentucky, Michigan, Notre Dame. So Carolina's in the top 5. This is a February. So all 5 of these teams are quote unquote terrific basketball teams that could use the services of Savvy Swords. Trust and believe. And Michigan has probably got the lead on that. And that's cool. Relationships matter, family matters, all those great things. Carolina's in the top 5. And we talk about UCLA, we talk about Kentucky, we talk about Michigan, we talk about Notre Dame. And because these teams can't use playing time, because Carolina is going to need quantity of players for that 2026 class. So they can't use that recruiting pitch against us. And these shooters. She's an outstanding basketball player. I talked about JC Abbey. She's 10th ranked. But JC Abbey has so many different teams right now. I think she got her list down to 10. Just recently. She got her list down to 10. And she has the heavy hitters. So her stuff is still, early. Baylor, UCLA, UConn, Duke, LSU, Louisville, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Oregon. The list goes on and on in regards to her top 10. So it's not much to talk about in that regard for her until she kind of limits that thing down, cut that thing down to 5. And then we have a conversation about JC. But Carolina's in the mix. She's a terrific player. She's a 5-star type talent. And we'll see what happens with her. Amari Bowles, she's cut her list down to about 10 teams, and her list is long and extensive as well. She's right now ranked 22nd in the country. Olivia Edwards, she's second. We talked about as well. She still has a big list of teams, and I'm hoping that she'll cut her list down sometime this summer because her list is extensive, and she hasn't. To my research, she hasn't changed much of her list since June of last year. So we're talking about 12 months out. And then included South Carolina, of course, Duke, Florida State, LSU, North Carolina, Notre Dame, Southern Cal, a host of schools. Okay. But Carolina's still in that mix. Olivia, big O herself, has a host of schools. It's about 10, 12 schools. And again, more research needs to be done with her because her list is so large. I talked to you about how badly I want McKenna Willisco on this basketball team, number 6 in the country. Her list, she has not trimmed the list down to 5 or 6 schools, but she is taking those official visits to her favorite schools. And I said that she will be doing an official visit at the University of South Carolina very soon. Okay. That seems like very good news for us that she recently did an official visit with Kate Harpering, if my memory serves me well. I just turned 50. Sometimes it goes in and out at times. And I think it was at Vanderbilt. At Vanderbilt, they did the whole, and it was a joint visit, which is great for Vanderbilt. Do I believe that Vanderbilt is going to get the services of McKenna Willisco and Kate Harpering? Hell no, I don't believe that whatsoever. I believe that McKenna Willisco has a very good chance of becoming a South Carolina Gamecock. And if she does not become a South Carolina Gamecock, I believe she's going to stay on the West Coast. I do not believe she's going to go to the SEC and go to Vanderbilt instead of no South Carolina. Hell no, I don't think that whatsoever. Could it be a Southern Cal? Could it be a Stanford? We'll see. But if I'm a betting man, if you've been rocking with Captain Will for a while, and I had to bet on that, I believe that McKenna Willisco and have at this point on June the 7th will be between a West Coast team like a Southern Cal and a South Carolina. As of today, that could change tomorrow, but that's what I believe right now. As of today, let's have some questions. I ain't talked in a while. I miss y'all. I ain't gonna front. I do. I miss y'all. We ain't been talking for a minute. I miss y'all. So thank you. Let's say this right here. Jonathan the Queen, thank you for the happy birthday, brother. Thank you so much. Adam Ritter, what's up, my guy? I ain't talked to you in a minute. Glad you still up and running. We're going to go back to live shows. I haven't done live shows in a minute. I was trying to do the whole 20-minute, 30-minute shows, because I've been very busy. But we're going to go back to doing a live show. I'm doing a live show this evening. We're going to do another live show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's not prime time. Prime time is in the evening. So 4 o'clock. I don't know what to call it. But I'm doing a live show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Hoover Johnson, happy birthday, my brother. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Before I continue on with the questions, make sure you like, make sure you share, and make sure you subscribe to Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. Make sure you do that. Tell somebody all about Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I know it's June and we're talking South Carolina women's basketball. We're talking college basketball, and ball don't start for another 4 or 5 months, but it's all good. It's all good. Number love. Shout out to the Mel's Place. The Mel's Place is an awesome place that nurtures and mentors young men and help build put awesome environment for them so they can become better human beings. And it's not enough places like the Mel's Place here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And Reggie, I have not forgot about you, my brother. I've been just so busy. And for whatever reason, your email went to my spam. I have not forgot about you, man. And we are going to link up and figure this thing out. Robert Arrington, my God, thank you for hollering at your man. Go Gamecocks for real. Cameron Richardson, hey, girl. What's up, hey, fam? Margaret W., greetings, South Carolina women's basketball fans. Dr. Paula Tucker, what's up? You the man, Captain Will, the GM. What's up, girl? I ain't talking to you in a minute. Lisa, it was so nice to meet you at the Dreams game. Thank you for the pick. So great meeting you at the Dreams game. Dreams, oh my God, y'all have not been to Atlanta Dream game? Y'all are missing out. It is so much fun being at one of those games. The environment is so unique and intimate. It's only 3,000 people that they can fit in that thing, but it's real pretty, it's real nice, and the music is dope, it's fun. Y'all didn't check it out. And somebody won $10,000 off a half-court shot. I was like, what in the world? Oh, it was so much fun. And Lisa, you were so funny. And thank you for the pick as well. Dr. Paula Tucker, in the post-secondary arena, we call it academic year 2025. We carry over the year in process to the new year towards graduation. No worries, you want it. But VZ, the truth. I think Isla is the best person in the class. Isla McDowell is going to, and VZ, the truth, Isla McDowell is going to far outdo her 15th ranking by ESPN. I believe that, much like during the 2023 recruiting class, whereas Malaysia Fulwiley, who was 13th ranked, outdid that. Didn't make sense. Chloe Kitts, 17th ranked in her recruiting class. Nope. She outweighed that. I believe that Isla McDowell is one of the top players, much like VZ the Truth said, in this class. And I believe that she's going to play a lot for the South Carolina women's basketball team this year. I believe that Isla McDowell is going to back up Tessa Johnson and or Chloe Kitts this upcoming season. I believe that completely. Until somebody tells me something different, somebody prove me wrong about that right there. She is nice with the basketball. And you know some things that you can't teach? You can't teach high motor. You can't teach aggressiveness. You can't teach want to. You can't teach that dog. And Isla McDowell is all that. Y'all go backwards. Go backwards. You talk about some of the players that Carolina has had who weren't the most talented players, but had that dog in them and found ways to get on the court earlier than they should have gotten on the court. Isla McDowell is that person. We're going to be talking about, I'm saying it right now on June the 7th. Isla McDowell is going to average between 14 and 16 minutes for the South Carolina women's basketball team this upcoming season. That don't seem like a lot, but for Carolina, it is. 14 to 16, maybe 17 minutes for our basketball team. She's going to be in the conversation after the season's over of some of these freshman awards. That's how good I believe that she is. For sure. For sure. 6'2" can guard, can hit the three. I mean, come on now. T Rose, what's up, Captain Will? What is going on? Man, just living that life, living that dream. Living a dream. Went to work. I worked out this morning. I know, right? Yeah, I ain't worked out in a minute. Worked out this morning. Got about 4 miles in. Did what I do. Adam Ritter. What about Harper? Harper's nice. Harper is an amazing basketball player. Terrific basketball player. Now, I'm not hearing that she's giving the love to South Carolina like that at this point. But again, it's June the 7th. But she is an amazing basketball player. Austin Benjamin. Let's keep it real with Kitts, being the exception. Top white recruits don't come to USC unless they're from South Carolina. I had to sip my Red Bull. Red Bull, if you listen, holla at your boy. Austin Benjamin. Let's keep it real. With Kitts being the exception, top white recruits don't come to USC unless they're from South Carolina. The sample size is small. Let's begin with that. The sample size is small. And Chloe Kitts is one of the top players in the country, came to South Carolina. Okay. If a player, so please understand that Don Staley is recruiting everybody, okay? Understand that. You know how close Paige Beckers was coming to South Carolina? There was a chance that Paige Beckers could have been a Gamecock, but she always wanted to play for UConn. But there was a chance that she could have played for South Carolina. I'm going to say this like this. I'm going to say this like this right here. Do not be surprised, Austin Benjamin, of the recruits that come to South Carolina over the next 2 years, okay? Do not be surprised. South Carolina, Don Staley is about championships, okay? Championships. And about getting the top level talent to South Carolina. You make me laugh. But thank you for the comment. Thank you for the comment. Appreciate it. Thank you. let's talk about the strengths of this class. I'll break it down as right here. I already mentioned that I believe that McKenna Velisco is the best shooter in this class. And it's about like everything. Free throws, mid-range, three-pointers, all those things. True shooting. You know, I believe that Olivia Edwards is the best athlete in this class. I believe that she, if she came to South Carolina, would be all SEC. And we're looking at it because we're forecasting, right? We're forecasting on their unique abilities and how those unique abilities would conform, would transform, would mesh with our basketball team next year. We're losing Raven Johnson. We're losing Tanaya Latson. That's true. We're going to be losing Medina Ogott. Medina Ogott is only going to play 1 year for the South Carolina women's basketball team. We're losing Chloe Kitts. Okay? That's 4 players. And that's a lot. But that's not it. Right? You're losing Miriam Dada. That's 5. I'm not sure what the status of Ashton Watkins is going to be. So let's say 5.5. Or 5 in a possible if we was actually playing spades. It's a lot of players that's going to be gone. Okay. But not to mention that when Tanaya Latson came to the University of South Carolina, when she transferred over, that was not as a replacement to Malaysia Fulwiley. Malaysia Fulwiley transferred after Latson came in. So it's not like it's a 1-for-1. So you still need a guard, an additional guard for the allocation that Malaysia Fulwiley had for next year. The numbers, I cannot say that Carolina is going to get 5 recruits in the high school class. I don't believe that we're going to get 5 recruits in the class. I believe there's probably about 3, maybe 4 out of this class. I will say this right here. South Carolina will have the number 1 ranked recruiting class in the class of 2026 when it's all said and done. South, mark it down. It's not like it's rocket science. That I'm not saying something crazy that pulling it out the air. Carolina will have the number 1 ranked class, and Carolina still will get probably 2 players out of the transfer portal. Who those players are and how they mesh with the players that will be here for next season's team, we're talking about the 2026-2027 team, where Tessa and Joyce and Isla and God and Adele, how those players mesh with those players will be interesting. How they're going to mesh up with Maddie, You need players that have tremendous versatility, but also tremendous ability to guard multiple positions. You need players who can shoot the 3. We ain't want no situation where we have not enough players who can stretch the floor per se. We also need players who can break opponents down and get to the basket. We saw how lack thereof we had during tough games throughout this past season, where we didn't have an abundance of players who will break you down, take your butt to the basket, and score on you. We didn't have enough players on that basketball team that could actually say, okay, let's spread this thing out, I'm going to get you a basket. Malaysia Fulwiley, who I still believe is the best one-on-one player in this country, okay? But there was times where she couldn't do it as well, especially when you know it's coming at you. It's not a surprise because you can guard, you can D up that thing when you know that you are one of 2 players. I believe completely. There's only 2 players on our basketball team from last year who can legitimately get you a basket at will, get to the rim at will. And those players are Malaysia Fulwiley and Maddie McDaniel. Those are the only 2 that I believed. I did love the thing where they, towards the end of the season, where They pulled Joyce up at the top of the key and had her doing her ball handling skills and get to the basket. So she's a tough cover at 6'3", and she's quick enough to get to the hole. But that came out of necessity versus, okay, we just try something different. We just didn't have it. Now in this upcoming season, we have that ability. You got Tanaya Latson could damn get to the basket anytime she wants to. And if she don't get to the basket and score, she can get to the free throw line, averaging almost 8 field free throw attempts per basketball game, 7.8 to be exact. We have that level of talent now on this team that we didn't have last year. Now, but we need that because that's only for 1 year. So we don't have the greatness of Tanaya Latson, All-American on this team for 1 year. And I hope it is sensational. I hope it's terrific. I hope she leaves with a championship, much like, Alicia Gray, who's straight up balling in the WNBA. Kayla Davis, who both of those players, let's go backwards. Those players only played 1 year. Won that championship because we always hear about, with Asia Wilson, 2017. You know who else on that team? Who else on that team? Alicia Gray, Kayla Davis, ballers. Alicia Gray, all-star. So hopefully Tanaya Latson is her this upcoming season. I would be overjoyed if that's the case. Overjoyed. But we got to get past. We got to get past the notion that because it irritates me sometimes because I always hear like the LSU thing where it's like, okay, you're not going to play your freshman year. You're not going to play your sophomore year. You're not going to play until your junior year. But that thing's over. For 2026, next year, that thing is over. You're going to be looking for some freshmen to play and play a lot. The impact of next year's team, impact of next year's freshmen that arrive on campus, those 4 potential players, we're going to go with 4. We're going to say the 4 corners, the 4 seasons, the 4, I got no more analogies, but the 4 of them, who I believe are going to be South Carolina women's basketball players next year from this freshman class and will be the number 1 recruiting class once it's all said and done, are going to be very key components on this basketball team next season. So you might see a player like Sanaya Hall, number 1 player in the country, decide to come to South Carolina. You might see that because on paper, if you go back, and we talk about strictly on paper, you go back to that 2021 recruiting class. The 21 recruiting class, it was 20 or 21 recruiting class. The class that had Raven Johnson, number 2 overall recruit. Okay, that same class had Sanaya Fagan, number 4 overall recruit. Had Sanaya Rivers, number 5 overall recruit. Okay, they had Breezy Hall, number 13th, 14th overall recruit. Ended up with Miriam Dada now, going into a second year with South Carolina, number 13th overall recruit. That on paper, that's one of the best recruiting classes that we've ever had on paper. And you can still make the case that was like our best recruiting class. Sanaya Rivers in the W. Sanaya Fagan in the W. Breezy Hall got drafted. I believe the Miriam Dada has a shot to be drafted. Okay. But I believe next year's class should be better than that class. I believe that completely. There's a whole lot of forecasting at this point because it's June. But things are going to start happening very fast, very quick. And we just got to be, cognizant of that. But filling the roster gaps, because for what we're going to lose from next year, it's going to be so important, y'all. We're going to lose so many minutes played off this upcoming roster. Raven is going to play a ton of minutes. Latson, same thing. Chloe, ton of minutes. Medina got off the bench. She averaged 21 minutes from Mississippi State. I think she's going to play similar to that for us. That's a lot of minutes of stellar play. Miriam Dada, who I've seen, apparently she's grown an inch, doing all these dribbling drills, looking focused. And I always love to see like on Instagram. I always see that. Like on Instagram, when they're showing the workout, this is for every sport. It could be for swimming. It could be for weightlifting. Well, I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do on Instagram, me lifting weights. I'm gonna lift like one thing, one rep. It's gonna be like a lot of weight, and that's gonna be it. Like, oh, Cal Will's so strong. Man, I'm just trying to throw my old back out. Old back out. But it's so important. Got a few more questions. Austin Benjamin, you took the comment wrong. Don and USC recruiting hard, but for whatever reason, they don't come. Okay, I might have took it wrong, Austin Benjamin. I apologize. Thank you for the follow-up. I appreciate it. But I don't know why. I can't like say why a particular recruit don't come to the University of South Carolina. I know why because now with the NIL space, things change. The culture of a team changes. It's if I was I am a parent of 5, but I would have to like understand like why teams or why players would not want to go to the University of South Carolina. And I understand that now players want to immediately start. So that might be, I didn't say might, that is a factor now. Or I want to show up on this basketball team. I want to start and develop my brand. You got a player like Kalina Smith, class of 2027, point guard. Special K is what they call her. She's going into her, junior year? I said last summer, before she was a sophomore, that Kalina Smith was the best player in high school as a sophomore. This was better than Aaliyah Chavez and Sienna Betts and Jazzy and all the different players. I believe that she was the best basketball player, regardless of class. And right now, you have various different polls and stuff where they list the top 20 or top 25 players, regardless of class. And Kalina Smith is the one. She is that player. NIL deals. So the expectation for Kalina Smith when Special K goes to, she chooses whatever school she's going to go to, her brand will follow her. Her NIL money will follow her. And now NIL is changing. Now schools can pay directly to the kids, all these different things. You got salary caps and all this stuff. And you need lawyers to understand all this mess. And I ain't too privy to all the information just yet, but I'm just saying everything is changing. So, but back to Kalina Smith. Will she become a Gamecock? Will that happen? I don't know. If I was a point guard, I would make real talk. If I was a coach, coaching in the world of women's basketball, every coach out there should make their kids read Don Staley's book. Every kid should read that book. If you want to be great, if you want to be the point guard, if you want to be one of the best players who ever lived, you need to read that book and how she overcome everything to be who she is. But you got nowadays the kids don't want to. Everything is microwavable. I want it soon. So you may not want to sit for South Carolina. But you want a championship. Like, but Carolina don't win a championship every year. But we always in it. It's just so many things. Why players don't show up or go to different schools. I don't know. I really don't. But what I do know is Carolina get a lot of talent of all colors, of all nationalities, and it works. So Austin, bruh, man, I don't know. I don't have it. Dr. Paula Tucker, we miss you as well, Captain GM. I dislike your 30-minute shows. 30 minutes of teasers. Stay off if you cannot give us full details. Yes, I said it, Captain, like a mommy. He's funny. Stay off the 20 or 30 minutes of chatting as you give us a joy listening. You say, okay, keep rocking with Cal Will. You are funny. Yeah, I don't do well, man. When I first started this venture, I used to do those little 12-minute, 18-minute shows, and like some of these cats, I don't do that. I just can't. I tried it though. I can't do that. Let me get on there and talk for an hour, and we just shoot the shit naive, And Dr. Paula Tucker, you're absolutely right, sis. You are absolutely right. Cedric Richardson, happy birthday, Cap. Thank you. So who was out? Who was in Cancun? I got. Woo! It was some problems. Boy, I was drinking some. It was tequila. It was chilled tequila, and I can say we. I was throwing them shots down. It was shot o'clock. The first 3 days of vacation, it was a problem. We're dancing, carrying on. I'm dancing with bartenders. I didn't get on the what's the thing, the bar. I didn't get up and dance though. I didn't get up in the bar, but I wish I did. My wife would have jacked me up though. Soul Man 99, happy birthday, Cap. Thank you. Adam Ritter, what players you feel good, confident about we may get? I feel confident about, as of today, I would say JJJ. I would say McKenna. I would say either or. I would say Olivia Edwards or Sanaya Hall. I don't believe that we get both of them. And this is mad early. This is crazy early. But I feel very confident about two. I feel very confident about JJJ, and I feel very confident about McKenna. I like doing early predictions. Those two, I feel very confident about. I feel almost as confident about those two players as I felt about Maddie and I felt about Adele Tack. I do. Dr. Paula Tucker, Captain, LSU will pull powerful transfer players to push the top recruiting stats. It will be something to see. LSU is a different type team. I think this year for LSU is so important for their success over the next 3 years. If LSU wins the championship this year, and they win that championship because Malaysia Fulwale went crazy at LSU, the trajectory for LSU is going to skyrocket. The storyline will be amazing. Can you imagine a storyline for the NCAA tournament with LSU playing South Carolina in the Final Four in Phoenix, Arizona, with Malaysia Fulwale playing a former team? That would be straight up. Forget the stuff with ESPN and all these different networks trying to make rivalries, trying to force you to make a rivalry with Indiana and Chicago Sky. I mean, let's keep it real. You had Chicago Sky and with Camila Cardozo and Angel Reese, who were legitimately rivals. I'm gonna talk about LSU South Carolina rival in tomorrow's show, but legitimately rivals drafted in the same draft and playing on the same team. That's never discussed. There's always Caitlin Clark going against Angel Reese and all these different things. I don't like manufactured stuff. I don't do that. I think I like to see it matriculate and be organically become special, right? And not media forcing something where you choosing a side. I'm either gonna love Caitlin Clark and hate Angel Reese, so I'm gonna hate Caitlin Clark. I'm gonna hate Angel Reese. If Malaysia Fulwale leads LSU to the final championship game, and that game is played against the South Carolina women's basketball team, the hometown girl from Columbia, South Carolina, who transferred to LSU, man, you can write the storyline. That's a movie. That is a movie. And I'm gonna be perplexed. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about that. Because I'll be perplexed. I love Malaysia. I love her family. I love, all those different things. My wife cried a couple of tears when she transferred. I don't know if she's over it yet. I really don't know. I don't know if the girl's over it. She probably go talk to somebody about the whole situation. She's still feeling some type of way. But LSU is different. They're focused on individuality versus the team. And they sell that individuality. They sell the thing with Flage. They don't sell that with Michaela. Okay? They're going to sell that with Fulwiley this upcoming season. You're going to see the individuality of Fulwiley. Fulwiley is going to get attention that she's never gotten in South Carolina. She was, to a certain degree, she was sheltered from that. She was shielded from that. Don Staley is a shield. Killer Murphy ain't no damn shield. Good or bad, happy or sad, Malaysia Fulwiley is going to get the brunt of the good stuff and the bad stuff. And at the end of the day, she's not a Tiger. She is a Gamecock. And those LSU fans and the cats who watch me, when she screws something up and has 6 turnovers, they're going to turn on her because she's a Gamecock. It's so crazy how this thing goes down. And when I see, and I don't want to turn to talk about LSU because this ain't that type of jab, but this is, I'm on live, so I just go on rants. But I'm kind of lose my mind when Kim Mulkey yells at Malaysia Fulwiley and that crazy mess she be doing, or like she slapped up the doggone clipboard out of Simona Gus's hands and all this crazy anthems that she be doing at our hometown girl. It's gonna feel some type of way, and I'll be rooting for the whole time. But I hope we beat them by 40. Make no mistake about that. But LSU is different, man. I don't know how to feel sometimes about LSU because they get really good players. They got Devine Burridge, they got Zakiya Johnson, they got Grace Knox. They have a very good recruiting class that's coming. Now I'm believing that both of those players are going to be there next year. Something's going to happen. Carolina got a great team concept, and all the players don't want to follow that team concept that Carolina does. But LSU will find a way to get players, and they will find a way to get top players. And some of these players also transfer out because a ton of LSU players transferred out. Mr. J said, I think Isla will be able to create her own shot as well. Isla McDowell, in terms of creating her own shot, is and thank you for the comment, Mr. J. Create your own shot. I mean, she's a talented basketball player. I don't see that. When I look at Isla, I don't see that as a characteristic of her game. I see when I look at Isla, who does Isla's game remind me of? I don't know who Isla's game remind me of. Real talk. Because she does a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but does a little bit of this and a little bit of that very well, and does. Her game is excelled. Her game is excelled further than Agat. Agat is a better. Agat has a higher ceiling, I believe, than Isla, but I believe that Isla can show up or has shown up for workouts at South Carolina and ball faster. I believe that Agat is more of a raw or a more needs more refinement, kind of rough around the edges. I believe Isla is that type of player who can get in there. It could be because she's played against better competition. I mean, you play against international WNBA players at 18, 17, 18 years old. You are used to certain things. You're not. It's not going to be a surprise when the college season begins. It's not a surprise of the size or the talent of these girls because you've been playing against grown-ass women for a little while. JCG said, I believe Olivia will go to UConn. I mean, Olivia, if she goes to UConn, that'll be, it's a lot. Olivia, I mean, UConn's going to get their players. All of them recruiting the same kids. And that's why, it's a plethora of kids out there who have so much talent. And I'm not stuck because I'm not saying, we got to get number one player, number two player, number three player. I'm not even saying that whatsoever. We got to get the players that fit our mold completely. Well, let's go rank number 6 right now. She's not the top ranked player in the country. Okay. JJJ is ranked number 8. She's not a top ranked player, it's I don't doubt who I believe is going to be sensational, ranked 15th. Agatha McCurry is ranked number, ranked 6. You just have that, because you got to play some defense now. Agatha McCurry and who's a outstanding defensive player. It's, we're going to see how good defensive she is. We lost Breezy Hall. Agatha McCurry can guard well. Okay. But you got to play, because you got some players on this list. I ain't even talking about defense. You got some players on this list don't play much defense. Okay? So some of these players on this list ain't going to be a Gamecock just because they don't play no damn defense. Or the willingness not to play defense. You got to play some defense on the court for Carolina. I can't wait to talk about more recruiting. I get hyped. I can't wait. I can't wait till the 2027 class. Oh my God, our class of 2027 going to be amazing. But we are about 2026. And it's so much to talk about, so much to discuss. And we're going to talk more about some stuff in tomorrow's show. We're going to talk about some rivalries. We're going to talk about some rivalries in college hoops that South Carolina has had with UConn and LSU and Tennessee. We'll talk about that stuff tomorrow, 4:00 show. But until then, this concludes another episode. Of Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will. I'm your man, Captain Will. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Gamecocks Talk with Captain Will, so I continue to bring the gospel, Gamecocks, every single day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you now rocking with the best. And since you're rocking with the best, come rock with your man, Captain Will. Let's go.